Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our daily live sessions. Today is day number 11. We're on a Monday. We're ready to kickstart the new week. And honestly, I'm very excited for the breakthroughs that we're going to unlock in this week. Because of the past two, we've been building the foundation, we've been understanding the core concepts, and now we are going to take the action to deal with our life's challenges and to start growing through them. And today, is all about that. So on Friday, something very interesting happened. The live session that we did was around dealing with uncertainty and building confidence and gaining that power within us where we are learning and growing. So that's the theme that we had on both Thursday and Friday. And there, I'd received a wonderful question in the comment section. And the question was this, that learning and growing will definitely help, but when we're surrounded by life's immediate problems, it gets overwhelming. So, how do we remind ourselves to think of the other positive factors? To think of the fact that yes, I'm learning and growing and that I can stay afloat to win. And I found that to be such a beautiful question that I decided to make today's life all about that. This live session, we are going to understand how to solve that one major problem. Because the truth is this, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, when life's challenges really are overwhelming, when you're just freshly going through a breakup, or when you've just lost your job, or you're trying but you can't get the job that you want, or there's a financial crisis that you're going through, in that moment, the worst thing someone can come and give you is motivation. I know that's what we've heard, but tell me honestly, when you're going through that, when you're in that low zone, when you're like, what even is this life? Like, why am I going through so many challenges? In that moment, do you really want to feel motivated and pumped up and ready to take on the world? Well, actually, no. Because in that moment, we don't need the high energy. We need the introspection. We need the clarity. We need the internal discussion with ourselves from where we can learn and grow. But the problem is this, when that challenge is too big, when that challenge is too immediate, when it is too personal, when it is too up close, we start to believe, oh my God, I have to be worried about this. I have to be stressed out about this. How will I handle it? What if it goes the wrong way? And that negative spiral of thoughts starts. You start thinking of future scenarios where things are not going in your way. You may have lost your job now, but your mind's already thinking, what if I never get a job again? You may have gone through a breakup now, and your mind's already thinking, what if I'm single for the rest of my life? I never find love in my life. And all those thoughts and all those problems and all those worries about the current situation are what create the overwhelm for you. I want you to understand this crucial difference. Problems in and of themselves are not overwhelming. I'll repeat, problems in and of themselves are not overwhelming. Yes, we learn that they are. We learn that when you're facing a problem, you should be overwhelmed. But my question is that really true? Think about it. The problem that you are facing today, whatever it may be, is it really as challenging as the problem a CEO of a Fortune 500 company is facing, where his decision or her decision will not only impact herself, but the lives of millions of customers and thousands of employees? Is your pressure really that high? Or is your pressure as high as the leader of a country who is sitting at the top position making decisions that are going to have an effect not just today, but maybe for centuries into the future, where one policy that they enact could literally reshape the future of the entire nation, maybe the entire world? And yet, do you find those people overwhelmed? Do you find those people coming in the media and being like, oh my God, I have so much pressure to deal with. I don't know if I can do it. How will I handle this? What if all of this goes wrong? What if I make a decision and I end up starting a war? Have you ever heard any leader speak like that? No. But the problems they are facing are much greater, yet they are not feeling overwhelmed by those life's problems. So, this is the first thing that I want you to understand. Problems do not create the overwhelm. If they did, these leaders would be the most overwhelmed people in the world on the planet. Yet, when they're asked the tough questions, a lot of times they're calm, they're composed, they are present to the moment, and they have a very articulate, very powerful, very clear answer to anything and everything that they are asked of. So, that courage, that confidence they're facing, they're having, even when they have so many big problems. So, overwhelm is not a feeling that's caused by problems, it's caused by the unnecessary stress and worry you take on when you encounter a problem. Now, these are two separate events. Problem in your life, that's a reality. But all the things you're worried and stressed and unnecessarily overthinking about, that's just a fantasy in your head. And that fantasy is what's creating the overwhelm. That fantasy is what's creating the challenging situation, which makes the problem seem very immediate, very urgent, like a total emergency. And it may as well be. But here's my question to you. For however long you've been on this planet till now, maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 70 years, all this while, whenever you've encountered a big and immediate problem in your life, what have you done? Stressed out and worried about it. My question is, how effective has that strategy been? See, I'm not telling you to stop worrying and stop stressing out. That sounds like the worst advice to give, anyways. Because when I say stop stressing out, okay, cool, yeah, I get that. How do I do it? That's the question. I'll come to that. But before that, let's figure out if this stress is helping us, this worry is helping us, or it's not helping us. Because if something's been around in our lives for years and years and years, there must be a reason, right? So let's look at that. Let's look at the track record of all the problems you've had in your life and the worry and the stress that has accompanied them. Has that actually ever helped you? Really think about it. Pick one of the biggest problems you're facing right now and bring back all those worry, all those overthinking thoughts, and ask yourself, well, all the energy, time, and effort that I'm spending in thinking about a future that doesn't even exist yet, is that even helping me? And you will discover the answer is no, because human beings are great at imagining things that don't exist. So 90% of the outcomes that are creating fear and doubt and worry for you in this present moment, along with the feeling of overwhelm, well, 90% of those outcomes are never even going to happen. But if that's where your energy is being wasted, then dealing with the problem, how much energy you've left? 10%. And on 10% battery or 10% energy or 10% power, ask any device or any machine to do any work and the machine will get overwhelmed very easily. So no wonder when it comes to dealing with the immediate problems in your life, you're feeling overwhelmed, because the energy that you could use for solving the problem, you're wasting it in worrying about the problem, and the worry is not doing anything except for worsening the problem. So it's a self fulfilling prophecy that's only pulling you down and down and down into inaction and into even more problems. So, this is the first step in dealing with life problems that overwhelm us. It's to understand that, first of all, problems are not being the cause of overwhelm, it's the way we feel about the problem that creates the overwhelm. And second of all, there is no reason for us to be worried or stressed out, because 90% of the things we are worried and stressed out about, they never really happen. So now your question is, what should I do instead? Well, here's the golden key. Here's the golden question. Here's the perspective shift, rather, I'd say, not just a question, but a perspective shift that will elevate you from the level of stress and worry into the level of strategic thinking, problem solving, and evolution, where you're not feeling emotionally burdened by the problem, but you're able to take the steps to solve it. Now, isn't that something you'd like? Tell me in the chat window. Do you want that or not? If the answer is yes, let's dive into it, because here's the simple way to solve problems. It's so simple. You're going to be like, where was this all my life? I wish I had gotten this earlier. So don't worry, wherever you are now, whatever age you are getting it today. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. In the moment when the problem is getting really immediate, when the problem is getting really heavy, problem is getting really overwhelming for you, if I have to use that term, we lose our ability to think clearly. That's the problem. That's why we end up making foolish decisions and end up sabotaging our own growth and sabotaging the success that we can create. So instead of doing that, instead of asking from the current lens, what do I do to solve my problem now? There's so much chaos. I don't know how to handle the chaos. What can I do to solve the chaos? That question's not going to help you, because it's from this present lens, and this present version of you, they cannot really handle the problem. But ask yourself this question. Close your eyes if you want to. Close your eyes and think about the biggest problem you're facing in your life right now. And as you've closed your eyes, imagine the version of you that's 10 years into the future. So the person that's a decade older than the version of you that you are right now. And that person has achieved all the goals. That person has solved all the problems, and they're an achiever. So I want you to look at the successful version of you 10 years from now. And I want you to think you're asking them for advice. You're asking that person, well, I'm going through this problem right now. What is it that I can do to solve it, to grow from it, to evolve from it, to deal with it, and to just create a better future? And now the difference with this question is, one, you've removed the overwhelm because the person's already successful. So how will a successful person even feel overwhelmed? So the feeling's not coming up. And the second thing, well, that person's just giving advice, right? So there's nothing to worry about, there's nothing to stress about, there's no unnecessary urgency, there are no unnecessary fears. And when you're asking that question, real answers, real solutions, real action steps that you can take will start emerging in your discussions with yourself. And that is how we remind ourselves to deal with uncertainty and to keep learning and to keep growing, by working on the overwhelm and by adopting a perspective in which overwhelm can't even exist. Because think about it, when we are here at this level where my hands are, imagine this is level 1, the problem is at level 5. The mistake you're making is you're looking up to the problem and it is looking very big, like the sky, the universe, and you've no idea what to do. In that situation, it is only going to overwhelm you. But now imagine this. You are currently at level 1. The problem's at level 5, but the perspective from which you're solving the problem is from perspective of level 10. Now from the top down view, not that big of a deal. Even from the universe, the earth seems like just a tiny dot. So, what we need to deal with overwhelm is not a new strategy, it's a new lens, a completely new perspective. And when you go 10 years into the future and ask for advice from that person, your problem may be the same, the overwhelm may be the same, but here's the difference. You will solve the problem thinking, oh, okay, it's just this much, I can handle it. Or you're not thinking, oh my god, this is so big. And that is what allows you to keep learning, to keep growing, and to actually start living instead of just settling for a life that you're getting, instead of just sacrificing because you think nothing better is possible. A lot of things are possible. Your current life situations, your past, does not have to equal the future. Remember this. Your past and your present do not have to equal the future, but they will equal the future if you are only operating from the lens of the past and the present. You see, the same recipe of the same old things cannot give you a new result. So, if thinking about the problems, worrying about it, and all these challenges have only created overwhelm for you in the past, well, it's only going to create more overwhelm in the future when you try to deal with it, but shift into the lens of the future. Make the problem small, make it, think from the much more long term perspective, get the answers, and you will be amazed at the kind of advice you give yourself. I'm sure you doubt yourself on how much you know. After this, after you do this honestly, you're not going to doubt yourself anymore. You're going to be like, well, damn, how did I know all of this? How am I able to come up with such amazing answers and strategies? Well, it's all in you. The only problem is you've not used the right lens to focus on that power within you. Go into the future, make the problem small, stop the overwhelm, stop the worry, and you will figure out how to keep learning, how to keep growing, and how to keep winning even in the face of problems that are the most challenging. This is not motivation, this is strategy. This is something you can implement every single day. I personally do it whenever I am bogged down by any problem. I just go 10 years into the future. I'm like, how would that person solve this? How would he deal with it? My answers here, I'm no longer stressed, I'm no longer overwhelmed, and I can take the action to make things happen. So try this out. Let me know how it goes in the comments, and keep sharing your questions in the comment section as well. Because see, today's video would not have happened if the question was not asked under the previous one. So keep asking questions, keep interacting. I would love to help you get more clarity on your path to success, and knowing what matters to you, knowing the problems that you're going through. Well, that helps me make these live sessions even more powerful for you. So I hope this one was very helpful. This 11th session is going to give you the breakthrough you need to solve your problems. Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow, the same time at 8:30 p.m. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.